HBF Run for a Reason is a great idea, it's a great concept, and it's really captured our city's imagination. I think if you said 5 years ago that in 2013 we would have had close to 30,000 runners and walkers, this beautiful mass participation event, I think you would have said we were crazy. Have a look at us now. The whole beautiful city of Perth gets dressed up for HBF Run for a Reason. In the weeks leading up, we see the sea of blue, the placards, the banners, the circus performers come out, Council House turns blue, and the whole city gets right behind it. And everybody is talking about it, asking that question, are you running and why are you running? What is your reason?
My name's Brad. I'm an above-knee amputee and I'm doing the HBF Run for a Reason for the first time this year. I've never ran 12K before in my life, but I'm currently at around 7Ks and looking to push it to the next level for the run on Sunday. I was born without a leg, so it means that it's normal for me, but I've had to adapt throughout my whole life to make things work for an amputee. Currently I only have my everyday leg, which is quite restrictive as far as when you try and do things like running and riding and stuff like that. So my reason for running is to try and raise the funds so that I can run without pain and get a leg that is actually designed for running, which is currently valued at around $20,000. You know, I enjoy running because it's so difficult, so I love the fact that I shouldn't be able to do it, and that drives me more to do it. Basically, I just want people to be able to see that, you know, it may be a challenge, but you can definitely, you know, accomplish it or do those things that just seem like they're a little bit out of reach or even impossible. But if you give it all your, you know, your energy and try and give it your best shot, you'll probably get there.
The City of Perth was very excited to be a partner, particularly with the change of the start being to the heart of the city. We felt it was highly appropriate that we should come on board and support HBF Run for a Reason so much more. It was just wonderful to see all those people gathered in the heart of the city ahead of what was a truly spectacular day, enhanced by such glorious weather. Look, I jokingly said at the start line, I would love to see the city streets like that every day. If we could get rid of traffic congestion and just have the city full of people, you know, that would just be a dream come true. So it was a beautiful moment in time, and I think it was a great partnership coming together, and we look forward to the event growing more and more.
So Sunday morning comes around, we've got the whole place to ourselves. The streets are all shut down, there's no cars, and there's this great atmosphere as everybody gets ready and heads towards the start line. All the buses and all the trains, they empty, and all these blue t-shirts head towards the start. It's sensational. Then the gun goes off, nearly 30,000 people running for a reason. Well, there's a lot of interest from our gun runners in Western Australia. They really want to win this. It's such a big, prestigious event. So Neil Berry crossed the line in just over 37 minutes. Beautiful, fast conditions, a fast course. So he flew over the line with Roberto Busi in tow, just a few metres behind him. In fact, we had 4 guys in the finish line together. Linda Spencer took out the women's race. Great performance from her. Felicity Sheedy Ryan just a little bit way down the track behind her. So some great running performances on a very fast day in the 12K and the 4.
Okay, we've got our winners for the 12K race for both the men's and women's. Congratulations to you both. How did you find today's run?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. It was a beautiful morning to be out there running and great competition, great atmosphere.
And what about you, Linda?
Yeah, it's a great day, and to have everyone else around running their own race for their own reason, it was brilliant.
And what are your reasons for running today besides wanting to win?
I was actually saying to the last group there that I've got an auntie who suffers from multiple sclerosis, so I'll be running for her. She's been suffering for some time, so that was one of my reasons. Yeah.
Good on you. And what about you?
Yeah, look, I'm running to support everyone else that's running, inspire others to get out there and try run. It's hard at the beginning, but it is enjoyable eventually.
Well, you're both an inspiration. Thank you both, and congratulations again on your win. Fantastic stuff.
Thank you very much.
I think one of the reasons so many people get so much out of HBF Run for a Reason is they know all their hard work and all their fundraising goes to some very important charities in WA. So the Cancer Council, Lifeline, Heart Foundation and Diabetes WA are all recipients of people's generosity and largesse. And there's over 100 other charities that people do raise money for during the course of their training and their preparation and on the day itself, which is a wonderful community effort. $1.3 million in 2013 we were able to raise, and over the journey over the last 4 years, $2.6 million. That is a massive effort.
I chose the Cancer Council because both of my parents had passed away from cancer, and I thought, what better way to raise some money and to share my story at the same time and participate in the HBF Run for a Reason. My advice to anyone going through any similar grief is, you've got 2 options. You either can accept what's happened or live with the mindset of why me. And very early on I just chose to accept and just live with what I've got basically. And it was a tough time, but I know I've got my parents in my heart all the time, and I know they'd be proud of what I've achieved today. So to anyone, it is hard. All you have to do is remain positive and try to get through it, and surround yourself with your friends and family for that extra support, because that's the only thing you can do.
Last year we got involved for the first time just because we wanted to give back to the community and do something with a bit of fun and enjoy the day. We got on the bus and had a fantastic day and thought, got to do this again next year, because it was just a great time, didn't we?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. When I was 10, I was diagnosed with diabetes, and then I was just managing to cope with that. And then in 2 years' time, I realised after a few doctor's appointments that I had chronic myeloid leukemia. So I underwent 2 rounds of chemotherapy, and then I had a bone marrow transplant, which amazingly put me in remission. So that was great. Because my immune system was pretty low after my bone marrow transplant, I picked up a pneumonia, and that decreased my lung function to a pretty low percentage. So, getting around I can manage, but it's difficult walking long distances, and I can't do much exercise, but I still manage to get around and enjoy life. So I think just get out there and do what you can, you know, anything, even just if you're supporting the runners on the sideline, and volunteering, everything, anything's awesome that you can do. So just because you can't do the run, you can help out in another way.
You don't have to run or walk to be part of HBF Run for a Reason. We've got 500 volunteers like Michelle and Melissa. They do a fantastic job. Get there before it gets light at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're cutting oranges, cutting up bananas, giving out drinks, helping all of our runners and walkers get to the start line and get safely through the event. So to Michelle and Melissa, thanks very much. To all of our 500 volunteers, we simply could not do it without you. Well, one of the great things about the finish line of the HBF Run for a Reason is you finally get to hear all these stories from the runners and the walkers. It's completely amazing to hear why people do this, what is their reason. Some of the stories are sad, some of them are uplifting, many of them are funny, some are creative, people running for their friends, for their mates, for their loved ones that are no longer with us. And the finish line is when all these stories come out. Everyone has got a reason. Here we are at the finish line of the HBF Run for a Reason presented by the West Australian. This is Elliot's Army. Have a look at them. Fantastic. Danielle, how did you go today?
It was good. It was, yeah, great.
You were saying that. I don't think you really mean it. It's a bit hard, wasn't it? Now, tell me about Elliot's Army. What are they? Who are they?
Elliot Parrish, who died of a brain tumour a couple of years ago, and we're helping raise money for Telethon Institute.
Well done.
Adventurers.
These are some of the happiest finishers we've seen all day today. What's your name? What's going on?
I'm Tony and this is Sasha.
Hi.
It was her goal, so I had to do it with her.
Yeah.
So your reasons for a run today was?
It's just to prove a point that yes, I can do it. I can get off my backside.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
How was the run?
It was excellent.
Tell us about this magnificent cause and your magnificent friends.
Oh, look, this group of friends, they did this for me last year, because this time last year I had no hair and I was halfway through chemo and I really didn't feel good. But this year, 12 months on, in remission and able to do it myself. Fantastic.
And what, sir, was it hot running in that thing today?
It was very hot. I was sweating like a pig. So it's a pig, Dalmatian and cow.
Well done. Well done on finishing.
And tell us, you ran 4Ks today. How'd you go?
Yeah, no, it was good, thanks, Angel. I took on my daughter, my 11-year-old daughter. She wanted to run this year, so we had a sort of a little race together and it went really well. We did a good time and crossed the line together, so we both won.
And today's event, I mean, a massive effort to put it together. You must be so pleased at the turnout.
Yeah, pleased and very proud, not only of the staff at HBF, but also the people of Perth getting down here. But 29,517 is an outstanding effort, and you know what it raised for charity is just fantastic. So, look, tickled pink, over the moon, and you know, 29,000 people moving today, doing some exercise is a great story.
Yeah, so HBF Run for a Reason, it really epitomises what the club's all about. It's really, I suppose it's like our premier event at the end of the day. Because every time we run, we actually run for a cause, and we actually run particularly to raise money for people less fortunate than ourselves. And you know, we have a bit of a mantra actually that we say, you know, we generally run for people who can't.
I became involved with these guys probably at an opportune time early last year. It was around about the time that my dad was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, and it was like someone had flicked the switch at the time of his diagnosis, because his deterioration was so rapid. It was amazing. He died within about 5 months of diagnosis. Obviously he'd been suffering the disease for some time that we didn't know about. We didn't know much about motor neuron disease, and we found out there's not much out there that is known about it. And Motor Neuron Disease Association WA is an association that provides support to families who suffer the disease, and that's why I'm really appreciative of road runners to jump on board and help us raise some money.
Well, the teams really bring something special to HBF Run for a Reason, whether it's a big team like Ramsey with 400 runners, or Woodside with 300, or even the Road Runners, which are a much smaller team but still raising money for their own reason for a very important charity. The teams bring energy, they bring colour, they bring fancy dress, all the corporate support that the HBF Run for a Reason needs, and they are fantastic on the day.
I guess it started for us at the end of November last year when Ivana found out she was diagnosed with breast cancer. We obviously went through the journey, through surgery over the Christmas period and chemotherapy starting in January this year. And on the 8th of May this year, we did the last chemotherapy session. Yay! So that was all over, and it was, I guess I felt through that whole process, I felt very helpless. There was nothing I could do to really support Ivana or help Ivana go through what she was going through. So the HBF Run for a Reason gave me something physically that I could get out there and challenge myself to do.
Oh, look, it's incredible. I think life stops in an absolute instant, and I think everyone experiences the same thing. You know, everything that you go through each day and your routine, it just stops and life starts to reverse. And you're out of control, and I think you lose control of everything. I think some of the questions, especially with a young family, is your mortality comes into question. You know, I think the children all wondered, you know, if I was going to die or, you know, how it was going to. But it just alters everything. You know, absolutely everything. I mean, the first 2 weeks after diagnosis is such a painful 2 weeks, and you really don't know whether you're here or there. And then you start having to learn things like mastectomy and chemotherapy, and you know, it's scary. It's a really scary time. And I think the thing that the breast cancer nurses did for us, Denise was amazing, and she was just such a calming person. And as we got through the process and we started to learn some of the support services that were there if we wanted them, it just amazes me, you know, what they can do for you. We're going to be, yeah, I think we're all going to gather at the finish line. I think it's going to be an emotional sort of a moment. I know during the process, you know, I think people don't realise how hard it is for a husband to go through this because they're completely helpless. And I think this run has kind of become Craig's treatment. So I think for him tomorrow, he's going to be finishing his treatment. It's kind of a beginning of a chapter. But we're going to be at the finish line and we're going to have some purple balloons flying for Breast Cancer Care WA. And we're just going to be super proud to see him come in.
Well, the highlight for me standing at the finish line was seeing Craig Willis finish the HBF Run for a Reason. Craig was our #1 fundraiser. I think he raised $14,000 at the end for this very important cause. And we're all waiting at the finish to see this pink skull cap come around Gloucester Park and come to the finish line. And we waited and we waited and waited. I can tell you when he crossed the line and he hugged his wife Ivana and he caught up with the Willis kids, the 4 beautiful kids, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. This long extended embrace, all their worries, all their fears, all their anxieties disappeared in that few minutes, and it was a wonderful thing. And one of the things that the finish line of HBF Run for a Reason is all about. Well done to the Willises.